After the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And that throw intercepted. It's Chris Harris, the Pro Bowl corner. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive, missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you've put something out there, you're giving yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
All day, just like that, just like that. Mike Fox.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Smith. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Off of play action. Here's Smith. Caught by Nelson. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
On 1st and 10, Smith lets it go for Nelson. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started, and it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit, like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him, but whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on third down.
Line 36. Line 36. Check 99. Check 99.
Shotgun now for Carr. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's fourth down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And they'll go ahead and down this one right on the chalk of the 20-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Tie ball game, still a little more than a minute to go in the half. The question, can they put something together here, try to take that lead into intermission?
I would have to think that would be the goal for sure. I don't think you sit on anything here. Here's your opportunity. Push it downfield. As you mentioned, it's a tie game. So minus a disaster on your part, you've got that in your back pocket. Go ahead and try and get some points and feel great going into the half.
They'll run on first down. Lindsey. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Smith. He completes it to Nelson. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down.
If you're a wide receiver and they call a screen pass, you're counting on some people being out in front of you blocking. But that play was well diagnosed by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, and they got there and swarmed and finished off the play.
Throwing on third down, Smith. He's going to float this one deep right side. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. If you're a lover of offense, this has not been the half for you thus far. Luckily for me, though, I'm sitting next to a lover of defense, and we have had plenty of that, including that interception.
Yeah, and I mean, that still makes it a great game, doesn't it? Everybody talks about if the ball's not in the end zone and points going up on the board, it's not as much fun. I love these defensive battles. Something's got to give with these turnovers. Who can convert them into points?
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Brings up second and 8 at the 16-yard line.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
Hey, that's good. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Carr. And Jerron Brown's got it complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. The Raiders on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Matt Weil now, standing just about on his own goal line. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. This is taken at the 15. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And we thought this game had the potential to be tight. Maybe not this tight, scoreless as we start the third quarter.
And I love the way you use the word tight. I'm going to take it a little bit different direction here because it's not just tight on the scoreboard. I think both offenses have been tight in how they've played this game. No one's been loose. No one's been free. They've got to find a way to make some plays, and I don't think you do it if you're really tight in everything that you're doing in the game.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Carr to throw, and he fires one incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Throwing now is Carr. And that throw intercepted. It's Chris Harris, the Pro Bowl corner. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December, right? It is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake, after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
After the interception, here's Smith. This is the tight end Fant. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A field goal would get them the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And McManus able to put it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-0. Well, some good news, partner. We will not have a scoreless tie as we finally get our first points of the contest here in quarter 3.
Yeah, just a field goal, but with the way those defenses ruled in the first half, that could be a big 3-point play right there, couldn't it?
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done.
And the Broncos get there and take him down. Adam Gotsis. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
That's right, baby. Check 13. Check 93. 93. 36 to Mike. I got one. Switch. Check.
Carr now to throw. He's going deep for Brown. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Kareem Jackson. Well, when you start thinking of guys that are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year, I think you use him as Exhibit A. Maybe he's not the leading guy right now, but he's at least on the periphery and deserves to be in the discussion.
And because of that, he's looking at a game today where in order to make that big move and maybe become the guy, he needs multiple takeaways, multiple big plays, things that...
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 15.
Well, from what we've seen thus far, this is not a formula for winning football. When you have more turnovers than points scored, that's a tough way to try and win a game.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now Carr. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. Call it a 3-yard gain. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Right down. 180. Bandit. Line 36. Line 36.
From the gun, it's Carr. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
Let's go, baby.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it 1st and 10. A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the 1st down run. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Well, we talked about Phillip Lindsay so much last year, but it bears repeating. Undrafted in 2018. The Broncos would sign him in May, and that was a good decision. He would have a 1,000-yard season, 9 touchdowns en route to a Pro Bowl appearance. So from undrafted to playing in the Pro Bowl in 10 months, that's pretty clean living for Phillip Lindsay. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Now, they'll go jet sweep here with Sutton. He's got a 1st down and more inside the 30. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Cortland Sutton, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos push further out in front.
Brandon, they just got the ball, and already they're in the end zone, and you're getting ready to talk about the PAT. That was fast.
Oh, how about this? No good. Just his 2nd miss of the year, and our score will stay right where it is. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Down.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. To throw his Carr. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A gain of 13. It's a first down. Welcome back now to Denver. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the 4th. Derek Carr, 3 fourth-quarter comebacks for the Raiders last year, and they only won 4 games total, so they've got some experience dealing with tight ones. On first down, Carr. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. He got 29 yards that time. Even though this offense doesn't have a single point to its name, they're not totally out of this game yet. A touchdown here, they could be in business.
And how about that last play? Now they've got momentum going, so I'm a big advocate. Get back on the line of scrimmage. Throw another play at them while you've got them rocked on their heels.
That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll run it with Jacobs. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with touchdown number 7 on the year, as they have now chopped this lead down to 3. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that will get them one closer.
Raiders 7.
So the lead shaved to 2 now as the kickoff is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
It's our field. It's our field. Hey, it's our house.
Play action. It's Smith. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off around the 41. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
At the 41-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll go again with Lindsey. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. It was Isaiah Johnson there to make the stop.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring it up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Mike 29.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strength.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Now Carr. This is caught by Williams. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. An opening there on that 1st down run as he gets this forward for about 8 or 9. That looks to be 8 officially, so 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. Operating from the gun. Carr. And that is incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. The kick by Carlson is good. And they take the lead here by a point, 10-9. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Now! 54.
Hey, Delta.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
A run with Lindsey out of the gun. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
36-yard line.
So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
Yep.
Check 52.
General West.
On second and 12, Smith, screen pass to Lindsey. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. I tell you, it has not been his best day throwing the football. He really needs to piece something together here.
All will be forgiven if he leads them into the end zone.
The Broncos on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Hey, team 6. Team 6.
29 is Mike. Mike 29. Watch the out. Watch the out.
Lee Griffin.
They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
You ain't going nowhere. Yo, go. Hey, exit. Check right 55.
On first down, right back to Lindsey. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
At the Raiders' 33-yard line.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Tackle. Mike 54.
And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Okay, there's 3 timeouts left, right?
Think you got to use one here, don't you?
No doubt about it. I'd use one right here.
Right there. 54. Right there. 54.
On first down, it's Lindsey. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game.
At the 26-yard line.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Right here.
Another run by Lindsey. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So this thing rests on the shoulders of Brandon McManus. He's made one and he's missed one thus far. This for the win. And that is no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, befitting a tight game like this, it all came down to the wire. But in the end, the field goal to win, it goes begging.
Oh, man, that is a tough way to lose a football game. You put yourself in position and you give yourself a chance, but it's just not meant to be.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And still 2 timeouts defensively, but even if they choose to use those, 3 kneel downs should be enough to get out of here with a victory.
And that's exactly what's being stated into the head coach's headset. Oftentimes they have a guy upstairs who monitors this at the end of the game. Little clock management 101.
Now a second timeout called for by the defense. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost like opened up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you?
I
You loved the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So for the Raiders, They finish off the season with a victory, which is the good news. The bad news is that it'll wrap up a dreadful 4-12 campaign. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, as we say so long.